Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today about business model adapted to the North American market. First of all, let me apologize for my voice. Today, I have a cold and I really don't have a good voice for this webinar. I still wanted to do it today because I know many of you wanted to see this information today. So hopefully you can enjoy the webinar besides my voice. But we have good information for you guys here just to see if you can get some tips to adapt or reaffirm the business model that you are using right now. If you have any questions, please go to contact@latamstartups.org. You also can place your questions in the comment sections of this presentation below this video. So please just do that if you need to have questions or if you want to comment on this webinar. So again, I apologize for my voice. I'm going to continue the presentation right now. So first, we're doing this webinar as we have seen a good number of startups coming to North America and realizing here that the business model don't work in the same level that they do when they are in their own countries. Sometimes they determine this in a short time. Sometimes it requires several months for these startups to realize that they need to make changes. We are trying through this webinar to give some advices in this area. Hopefully, this helps you guys to see how you can either change or improve the current business model you have. As we work with Latin America, 92% of the startups that have passed through our programs have changed their business model. The most common mistake is trying sorry, one second. The most common mistake is trying to invent a new way to get a business model for your company. This can be hard on your business, as well difficult to sell to investors. Investors don't feel comfortable with the new ways to get money. They want something that has been proven. This part is very important. We have seen startups that focus on increasing the user base of the client instead of the client base. And the difference for that part, for those that don't know, the user is just the person who is not paying anything for the company. And many times the startups need users at first, to test the solution. So it's actually not bad to have users, but just rely on users is not good for the company. When you overpass the 100,000 users, sometimes the investors may be interested in the type of information you are collecting from the users. And sometimes this type of companies get funded, but this is not the most common case we have seen. Clients are paying, and that's why you should focus in attracting clients. The most you have and traction you can prove, the best possibilities you will have to have investors get some funding for you. So just, as a general tip for you guys is that don't focus 100% in getting users. At the beginning, it's okay, but that's not going to give you revenue. That's not going to attract investors necessarily. You need to start to getting some traction with clients. In a specific in North America, if you are looking for investors in North America, for example, they usually don't care about clients or even users outside of North America. It could be, if it's Europe, it could be if it's Asia, but sometimes with some emerging markets, it's very difficult for them to rely just in the clients and user database that you have there. So that's why this is very important that you adapt your business model to North America if you are looking for investors in North America as well. So we are going to see what are the most common business models in North America and how they work. So you have some information there. Hopefully, this is new information for you and you can probably adapt or get this new business model for you. So become the middleman. That's the first one that we have here in this list. For most companies that are competing with big brands, That's also selling products. They are also selling products very expensive. One method is to reduce the cost of manufacturing and the price and create a brand that is accessible to a big base of customers. This business model led the company to have a control over the contracts and negotiations with distributors. Um, Currently in North America, some of the companies that have applied this business model is Casper, for example. I'm not sure if in other markets you have seen this type of brand, but here this brand is very well known. The way that they sell their mattresses is very innovative. It's inexpensive and reach out a big number of customers that want to have a new mattress without pay much for it. They are competing with a very difficult traditional sector, and they have gained a lot of customers, even internationally, by reaching out to millennials in their own way and in their own brand. So, Casper, if you come to North America, if you come, to New York, Toronto, any of this, especially East area of US and Canada, you will see that this brand is very well advertised, and many millennials are getting it because it's cheap, because the type of advertising they are using is very attractive, and the way that they are actually trying to get customers is very innovative. They actually send the mattress. You can return it if you don't like it. You can use it for 3 months. They have different ways to advertise and to gain new customers. So that's the good thing about this type of business model, and how to compete with big brands that are already in the market and that already have a presence for years and years. This is a great example for be the middleman there. The second one that we are going to talk is become a marketplace. This type of model is ideal for those that are involved in the e-commerce. First and best known example is Airbnb. They told the way to add value to their customers through the sharing economy. There are several benefits to have a business model for your company in this way. There is no inventory necessarily, or if you have inventory, it's very minimal. You can run your company totally virtually, so you can save money trying to rent an office. And if you really want an office, you don't have to get a big one. You can even work through a co-work space, or there is no necessary of an office in this case. And you bring together sellers and customers, and they find what they want through your business. And of course, the other example for a marketplace is Amazon. As you can see, there is a big number of marketplaces that are coming up in the last years, in the market. So this is very, very common for people to see right now, marketplaces. The subscription model. Between millennials, mobile payments are very common. Some startups can take advantage to offer a service or a product through small payments every month. This model is very good for the startup and the client, and it's a fair business. You figure out the way consumers behave, what they want every month, and they get their services or product in a regular basis without to worry about it every time, every month. If they have this pattern, if they are actually have a tendency to buy something every month that is going to be the same every month, this is a great business model to for these consumers, for clients actually to get their things that they buy every month in a regular basis. So this one is also really good for valuation of the company and how you present sales and results to investors. It's good for predicting the increase of revenue and clients. Netflix is also a good example of this model, as well the Dollar Shave Club, which is the one that we are presenting right now here. So, this particular company, for those that don't know about them, they send, the package with all that, especially for this market for men, shaving, and then they have different products that they send every month. and they are increasing a lot in sales every year. They are like growing super fast with this particular business model. So the subscription model certainly is very well known here and very well adapted as well. The other business model is build to order products. The best example is Nike. And in general, the fashion industry is getting more companies in this trend to customize everything for the customers. 3D printing is making easy this part. And this is why many companies are adapting their business model to satisfy their customers in their particular taste. Some studies in this area show that customers are willing to pay, in average, 20% more of the price if they get a specific color, shape, and texture for a product they are buying. So, think about the customization in the market right now. This is a really good. Like many people right now, especially millennials, are getting products that are very unique, that will identify with their personalities, that will help them to also be the highlight in certain ways. So to have Nike and big brands and also medium-sized brands thinking about how to customize those products in a specific for their customers is really good, because in that way they are getting into a market where they will find this uniqueness from these brands. So to build and order products is a really good one for startups right now. On-demand model. The on-demand model, for example, Uber is one of the companies that also has a very good business in this area. But there are other companies like Handy that have implemented this model, and this is a highly scalable that gives savings for the consumers and is pretty much cost effective. You can prove new technology using an existing structure, and the freelance labor certainly gives some advantages, and is a proven model that increases adoption between startups. So I'm not sure if you guys have heard about Handy, but Handy certainly is a company, is a startup that is very well known in the market, and it also uses a lot of freelancers in different sectors in different ways. So people just get on demand when they need it, and as I mentioned it here, they use a traditional way, a traditional infrastructure to actually get these people on demand. And with innovative ways and innovative technology, they can test it through that existing infrastructure. So probably you have heard about that, and this is a good business model that also is increasing a lot in the market here in North America. The other one we're presenting here is the freemium model. This business model is well known and is very well, it has been very popular in the last 10 years. Basic services are given up for free to users, and some other premium services are available for those users that become clients. So for this business model, probably very well, because this business model has been in the market for over 10 years, I believe. So in this way, you are getting a lot of customers, as well a lot of users. At the beginning, it's not really a big challenge to get the users. It depends of the service, but those users that can become clients very fast if they need like a premium services. So in that way, you have a really good combination of what is a user database and client database that is very attractive for investors here in North America. So for people using the platform, an attractive new user is really like something that is now going to become a big challenge that I mentioned before. So there are other companies that are using this type of business model, like Flickr, SurveyMonkey, Dropbox are between the best known in this line of business model. Probably you already know about them. and it's very good for you to adapt to this type of business model here. There are some example of business models, some other examples of business models that are very well known here in North America, but we wanted to highlight those that we just presented because those are the most common. And you can see there is, if you are already opting for any of those business models, certainly then you are in a good track to come here to North America. There are a couple of sectors and other business models that you can adapt also, that there are different to the ones that I presented, but these ones certainly are the most common here. And why we're presenting those in particular is because the consumers in North America are very well adapted to buy products and services in those different ways. So if you have something in Latin America that is similar, but you want to adapt it, the thing is that in many cases in Latin America, what we have seen for startups that come here is that they have a very complex business model. It's very, very complex. And what we need to do is simplify that business model into adapt it into any of the ones that we have seen in this webinar right now. So when I mean to say with complex is that sometimes they have so many different services and very small team, and there is no specialization, there is no like vertical that they are focused on, and this is what provides a very hard time for them to actually sell here in North America. But when they are actually focusing in a vertical and actually focusing in one of the business models that are popular here in North America, then you don't have that hard time actually selling what you are trying to sell as far as it's on demand in the market. So that's probably another point to consider, the high demand in the market. We do a lot of market study and that way to actually adapt, the business model to what people want to see here. So hopefully this information will give you some insights about, what you can change in regards of business model. If you have any questions or comments, please just send it to contact@latamstartups.org. And for those international startups applying to our programs in North America, remember, we have a link where you can add your application when you are ready to come and gain customers in this market. Thank you for your time. Again, sorry for my voice, but at this point, we believe this information will be good enough for you guys. If you have any questions, just send them. And thank you so much for joining us today in this webinar. Have a great day.